Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Bruce here from Traveling with Bruce and my other channel, Stock Markets with Bruce. Welcome to viewers of both channels. I thought I'd make this recording today. Today's date is Sunday, October the 8th, and I'm coming to you safe and sound from Zurich, Switzerland. My Jennifer Aniston lookalike wife and I, Auntie Jen and I, we both got out of Tel Aviv the day before yesterday. We left Tel Aviv Friday, October the 6th. And those of you who are following world events, you know that Saturday, October the 7th, the big violent the war broke out between Hamas and the Israeli forces. And I wanted to just let you folks know what it was like for us being in Tel Aviv. We were in Tel Aviv for 4 days, and we specifically went to Tel Aviv to surprise a viewer of mine from my stock market channel. That was really the main thrust of it. It was a full-blown success. We had a lot of fun. But I wanted to give you some impressions of what it was like in Tel Aviv right up through the leaving. And again, we were not involved, thank God, with the what happened after we left. This photo right here, you probably, some of you may have seen this clip, you may not. That gentleman there, that's Nick Robinson. He's a Nick Robertson. He is a CNN war correspondent. And I am telling you, he is literally where Jen and I were the day before. We had taken a bus from the terminal in Tel Aviv, Ben Gurion Airport, towards our plane. And what you do is you, in our case, you get bussed out to your airplane and you walk up one of those ramps you see there, those stairs, into your aircraft. Now, Nick had just gotten off an airplane with those other passengers there when the air sirens went off, and they were all told to shelter in place, I guess right up against the building itself. And he was reporting live without any serious equipment, just him and his cameraman just on the spot. And they uploaded that to CNN. Thankfully, I did not have to experience that. I missed it by this much, and that's okay with me. Let me show you some, again, images I have here that I've basically downloaded from the internet just to give you some perspective of what's going on. If you take a look at this photo at the bottom left, you'll see Gaza. That's the area that is cordoned off. Has got over 2.5 million people living in it in really tough conditions. And that is where all of these rockets came from that started heading north and to the east. Causing all kinds of issues. And of course, this is the area from which these Hamas fighters also came out of to go after some of the small Israeli settlement towns near Gaza. Now, if you note at the top of the photo, it says Tel Aviv Yafo, and you'll see that red indicator up there, that marker. That is where the airport is, just to give you an idea. That is the airport. And then where the word Yafo is, just in that area, is where we were. And rockets landed just short of the airport the day after we left the area, just to kind of give you some perspective. When you fly in, some folks can see to the north, and you can fly in and see these various structures. This is quite a bit north of central Tel Aviv. But Tel Aviv, the city, is quite developed. Here's the airport, by the way, a little closer indication of what it looks like. And you can see there are basically 3 runways. And then the settlements to the north, or the top of the picture, that's looking north towards Tel Aviv. Gaza would be down in the bottom right, and it's off the photo. It's not on this photo at all. We stayed in the Sheraton Crown Plaza, or the Crown Plaza Hotel, actually, and there's a shot of the hotel on the right. It's part of a 3-tower complex, and another daylight shot here. You can see the square tower, the first one, the closest one to you, that's the hotel. The other two, the round one and the square one behind it, those are office towers. And in between the buildings is a shopping mall. This is a huge project. It is beside a major expressway and then a major roadway. There's a flyover, and there are two railway stations situated just to the left of those buildings. You'll see here, here's a shot for you. Don't mind my bald head up here. But you can see here two railway stations. There's one here, and there's one here with the expressway going across here, and then the bridge over. And you can see at the bottom of our buildings over there. The thing that that you quickly understand when you're in Tel Aviv itself, very modern city. Most of the city is less than 40, 50 years old. Yes, there's a lot of history here. There's the Jaffa port, which is from thousands of years ago. I mean, there's history going way back. This is the Holy Land. But where we were here in this area, we were absolutely in the corporate area of Tel Aviv. This area is exploding with activity. There are cranes everywhere with new towers being built. This photo is at least 5 years old, and it gives you only a taste of what's been happening there. It is quite something. The thing that you are taken by if you're not used to this area, here's an example here. It looks like the lobby of our hotel. Nothing crazy, but on the bottom left, or the bottom right, pardon me, the very bottom right, there's a little desk there, and 24/7, there's a security guard sitting there, and he might ask you for your passport when you arrive. They're very particular about who walks in the front door of this hotel. Now, on the one hand, you can say to yourself, "Well, it makes me feel good. It's nice to see security," but we're talking blatant security all over the place. When my wife and I were walking, we took the train into this complex, and these two train stations you see at the bottom here with the wavy roofs. We literally got off the train, came up an escalator, and we were now on the street that you can see there. And we walked kitty corner. Of course, we went through the traffic lights like you're supposed to. We walked kitty corner over to that mall on the ground. I didn't know that we could have actually taken a sky bridge, which you see on the right there. We didn't know it was there. And when we got to the actual property itself, we're coming up a driveway, and there was a gate to get in, which I thought, weird. This is a shopping mall. Why would there be a gate? And then a little further in, there were a couple of guys at a checkpoint, and they wanted to see our passports. They wanted to know why are we pulling suitcases on the street like that, and they wanted to make sure that we were not a threat to the complex. Well, we showed them our Canadian passports, and they let us through, no problem. They said, lobby's just down there. So we kept going, met the man at the lobby. This photo I've shown you already, where you can see this security desk. Then inside the lobby was another security guard off to the side and the front desk, and we had no problem checking in whatsoever. And so once in the hotel, we were comfortable. The facility was nice, modern place, all that kind of stuff. This was our breakfast room here. We had breakfast included on the 11th floor of the complex, and very well run. But what I sensed, I tell you, I had this feeling in the pit of my stomach. Something's just not normal here. Something's not normal for me, my normal. The serving staff, the most of the staff that was serving us, especially the lower rung workers, the folks who were cleaning the tables and so on, you didn't get the feeling that they were comfortable either. And I just couldn't put my finger on it. Again, this is a few days before all the explosions. I just felt that they were walking on eggshells. They were working there, they're employed there, but I had the impression that they were on eggshells. They were nervous-ish. They were unsure of themselves. And maybe, I don't know. I don't know how they're treated behind the scenes. I don't know how their bosses treat them. I have no idea on this, but boy, I just didn't feel I didn't feel a vibe of where they were really comfortable. The people that worked at the hotel that were comfortable were the senior staff, and I got the impression that they were Jewish and had that feeling of security and ownership, whereas the lower rung employees were not necessarily Jewish and they were second class. And I couldn't, I can't prove it, but boy, I had that vibration. The hotel had a swimming pool facility available to us. I didn't go. I just wanted to stay in my room when I was there. I was doing my work on YouTube. And then in the evenings, we had arranged to meet our friend that we surprised. And we went out to 3 different restaurants, 3 nights in a row, and I let him handle everything. And the cabs and the restaurants, that same vibe was there for me personally, just me. Now, I can't speak for any of you out there who've ever been to Tel Aviv or would like to go. I can tell you this. Here's a shot of the nightlife. Tel Aviv is a young town. This is an area where the younger set hangs out, and they are having a good time, generally speaking. Being out here in early October, the evenings, this is not an October shot though, because those folks are wearing jackets, but the evenings were still 79, 80 degrees Fahrenheit, 26 Celsius, very warm, humid, very comfortable though. 78 degrees with high humidity is very comfortable. But this is what Tel Aviv is about. If you are in your 20s and 30s, you come to Tel Aviv, you're going to do this. You're going out for the nightlife, and there's a ton of it. But I got to tell you, there's this, to me, at age 68, there's this vibe, and it just wasn't my comfort zone. And we had no idea when we got to the airport, obviously on the Friday to depart. Let me show you a couple of photos here. Again, these are stock photos. These are not my photos, but this is very accurate. This is kind of, the area of the airport and how busy it is. This is not an exaggeration. This is checking in, and there are long lines, and there are people asking security questions all over the place. It's a nice building. Believe me, Ben Gurion Airport, beautiful facility, really first rate. But I got to tell you, I was very willing to cooperate in any way I could cooperate to expedite the departure from the airport. Again, there's a shot of it from overhead. There are El Al planes, of course, and we were flying from Tel Aviv to Zurich on El Al. And I knew that going on El Al, it's the first time I've ever been on the airline. I knew that there would be enhanced security features, just the way it was. And I had no problem with it. I was, quite happy cooperating any way I could. Answer any question you want to ask me, go ahead. Check out my passport, go ahead. I'm just a Canuck. And we had no problem getting through the airport as far as the check-in. But I got to tell you, they tell you to get there 3 hours early, and here they mean it. Maybe in your local airport, in your hometown, when they say you got to be here 3 hours early, you figure, well, I can be 2 hours early and still have plenty of time to get through. Not here. You better be 3 hours early, because you are going to be in lines. They're organized, and they're not chaotic. They're very, with the barriers, you go around and around and around. But I tell you, we needed all 3 hours, Jennifer and I, to get through check-in, get rid of our bags, go through security, just you name it. We ended up at a remote part of the airport. We had to take a bus from our gate to our plane. And I tell you, we were on our plane on time, and we left within a few moments of our scheduled departure time. But we were the lucky ones. We didn't know that within 24 hours, Ben Gurion could have been and was partially shut down. And apparently today it is not operating as normal. And I didn't know that 24 hours, within 24 hours of me leaving, this guy from CNN would be coming in to cover a war in Israel just a few miles away from where we were staying. I had no idea Nick Robertson was coming to town, and he probably had no idea he was coming in either. And here are people lying on their luggage, around their luggage, cowering everywhere they can as they were hearing explosions in the distance, wailing, sirens going off. And of course, it's been nonstop international coverage of the carnage that has gone on. And those are my impressions. One last thing I'll tell you is we landed in Zurich on time, 4-hour flight, gorgeous weather, smooth flight, everything great. We got off the airplane, and Jennifer and I are walking on that jetway towards the terminal here in Zurich. And as we're coming off the jetway, there were 2 policemen standing there that had police on their badges and on their backs. You know, one guy had a full-blown AK-47, and he had his hand on it, like it was ready to go. And the second guy was a spotter, and he was loaded with weaponry as well. I have not experienced that this close in person. The 2 gentlemen were no threat to us. They were there as security. And I suspected that at the time. I thought, well, this must be an El Al Airlines request, that Israeli airline coming into foreign country, that there would be security at the jetway just to make sure there would be no issues. I thought that was the game plan. Maybe that is the way it's done. Maybe that is the way it's done with all El Al planes in all countries that they land in. But that kind of threw me for a bit of a loop. But after we passed those 2 guys, we walked all the way through the airport, didn't see anyone else. Today, however, we're staying in a hotel at the airport, and it was yesterday, actually. Yesterday, we were in the airport just because there's a shopping mall connected to it and all that, and we saw security enhanced. We did see enhanced security. Very interesting, even in Zurich, Switzerland. Just a little thing that shows you that it's not normal. And so there you go. There are my impressions on this, getting out of Tel Aviv in the nick of time. Like I said, I can imagine that all shops and all shopping centers and restaurants, enhanced security, different vibe, not as easygoing as it was when we were there. We were there during a religious holiday that ended Friday. It was the last day of the holiday. Friday night at sunset was the Sabbath, so everything shut down. That's why we left Friday morning. We were out of there Friday morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, and here we are Saturday morning, all hell breaking loose, and here we are Sunday still watching this coverage of what's going on. That's my impression of the whole experience from my perspective, and I thought I'd share it with you. We're alive and we're well, and we're happy to be here. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it interesting. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.